I mentioned the other day that there was a truck convoy that was en route to the park, I guess, in Texas. Where is it in Texas again? I can't.
Eagle Pass?
Yeah, it's called, I believe, Shelby Park in Eagle Pass.
Shelby Park in Eagle Pass. There's a trucker convoy going there. Ostensibly, I guess, I'm not sure what they're aiming to do, but finally we know why they're doing it. And for the obvious reason, not just to take back our border, but because obviously they're on a mission from God.
Oh.
Good.
Is a global agenda here. I'm from Boston. A global agenda, okay? Absolutely. And there's nothing new under the sun. The Bible tells us already the one world government, the one world religion, the mark of the beast. All of this is a peppering into that. The Bible talks about a great deception that will come, that even some of the elect will be deceived, right? COVID was a peppering of the great deception. Ooh. How far can they pull us? This is called enslavement.
Sorry, just pause it 1 second. A control F.
Peppering? Peppering?
It's just it's a season. Season.
I can't believe you interrupted her. She was just getting going, starting to make a ton of sense.
Well, I know I was really getting into it, but I couldn't help but help control effing in the Bible, and one world government. You'll be not surprised doesn't come up. But anyway. Yeah.
Well, you know what's weird is the idea of like governments in the Bible is a weird thing. They didn't really talk about governments per se.
Okay.
That's odd.
How far can they pull us? This is called enslavement. We are enslaved by our own government. And our government, who are they enslaved by? The global elite. Nothing is as it seems. We've got to wakey, just like Charlie Ward says, wakey, Americans, wakey people. That's why it's so important right now that we take our border back. We got to start there.
Why?
We, the people, have got to come together. And I'll tell you what, God gave me this vision. Two things. There were two dreams, and I know it might sound foo-foo to some of you, but some of you it might not.
Keep going.
God speaks to us all in different ways, and when we truly know whose we are and the purpose to which we've been called, God will continue to make the pathway clear. God gave me this dream, and in this dream, I'm in bed, I'm asleep in the middle of the night, and I'm standing across the expanse of the entire sky. I see all the stars of the sky, and it's completely silent. And I see what appears coming from the right side of the sky, what looks like almost like a rocket or something shooting with that amber color up. It arcs up into the sky, across the center of the sky, down into the east. And it explodes, but I hear no sound. And then I hear the voice, the shot heard around the world. And I leaned in because I didn't know if that was what I really thought. And I said, Father, what is it that you're trying to say? What are you telling me? And it was so loud, my entire room vibrated. The entire room woke me up. And I heard God say, it is the shot heard around the world. And I was like, what the heck is he talking about? God, what is that? What is that? I know I'm from Boston. I understand it, but why right now? God gave me confirmation within weeks of author Lawrence Hebron just wrote a book. Many books he's written. The last chapter of Shot Heard Around the World. All across the place, it kept coming to me. God, what is it? What is it? What is it? Now, he gave me a vision a few weeks later. And I'm meeting with a team of people.
That's a lot of visions.
And I knew already that God had shown me that there were lights flickering all across the country.
Look at the lights.
I could see the lights throughout the United States. There were the lights of hope. They were the freedom fighters.
Just a
they were
pickup, but
the
a
true
18-wheeler.
remnant of those that are a stand for truth and our sovereignty coming from our Creator, our freedom coming from our Creator. Those lights were shining. And God
and
was
that
like,
philosophy was being piped
you got to
to
bring
Earth.
them together. They're also separate.
I can't watch this anymore. You know what?
No, Sam, the reason we played that is because I think the left really needs to figure out how it's going to meet this energy and help it build our movements.
This is why we've got to address the border, folks.
I mean,
Because
honestly,
otherwise, let's not keep our head in the sands and pretend like this isn't an issue with real Americans.
And by the way, that was Kim Yeater. That was Kim Yeater, the Take Back Our Border convoy organizer, on a YouTube stream that has 166 views.
Oh, well.
Oh, okay, just 166 views. I mean,
people are not ready to hear the word of God, obviously.
But she is one of the organizers. I will tell you this, and it is really disturbing, actually. I did see that video of the guy who was arrested for allegedly beheading his father. And the video is really disturbing. The first moment, the guy holds up the head of his father in a bag, what appears to be. And then he puts it to the side and then just starts talking, not terribly different from the way that this woman was talking.
Right.
He just starts talking about how one world government, the federal government is criminal. I'm not going to, and that he's in charge of an army, and he's calling on this army to surround him and protect him from the feds. And if you're a state governor, he's not going to do anything to you because, as long as you guys don't stand in the way of this. And it's all right-wing talking point. Now, make no doubt, make no mistake. This guy, I think, is, it appears that he will be found, certifiable. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I don't know if it's, what mental issues he have, but they are severe.
If there's
obviously
a rational explanation for that video, it's going to be interesting.
They are severe, et cetera, if that is all real. But it just goes to show that, what feeds a lot of these people are these sort of conspiracy theories and the paranoia that is up there. And, look at what is going on with these crazy ass theories about Taylor Swift. Like this is a psyop by the feds and by the CIA and the FBI and all of this insanity, which is all just perpetrated for money. I mean, I don't even know what the political strategy could be behind it, but it is all just perpetrated for money. And it floats out there. And yes, there's a very tiny percent of the population that is completely unhinged and may take up this cri de coeur and follow up with violence. But I mean, how much this woman is out there and has got at least, I don't know how many truckers it is, but at least some to drive their rigs across the country to ostensibly fight the forces of the federal government against the valiant stand by Governor Abbott to essentially try and drown migrant families in the Rio Grande. I mean, it's insane.
It's insane
what's going on.
And you also see, she was pretty explicit about it, but so many of these conspiracy theories are just religious beliefs that they copy and paste onto real life kind of just political issues. I mean, the reason that people talk about MAGA and Trump followers like a cult is because they're kind of religious in the way that they view both him and then her job as a holy warrior. I mean, she's describing these very, very detailed visions of God speaking directly to her to, go down to the border and fight for God's will. And this is not an exaggeration. They view Trump as God's vessel. That is what he's not a political leader. It's not a way that people can view their stance accurately. He is a vessel for God, and that's where they work backwards from. So nothing he can do is going to disqualify them in their eyes.
What's also amazing is that what kind of vision of God do you have that you can rationalize the idea that God came to me and said, we need to enhance the ability of Greg Abbott to drown migrant families. I mean, what is your vision of what God's supposed to do? What's the point of that? We can find humans to do that.
Well, it's because the threat is existential from the globalists. That's what the Jews are trying to do to us. It really is some things never change in that way of evangelical coded anti-Semitic conspiracy theories.
The only thing that changes is that guy made about $10,000 from the "I decapitated my dad" video he posted on Twitter. I'm joking.
Oh.
Oh my God.